What's going on, everybody? Toby1 Shinobi here, and today I'm going to teach you how to stop dying to Nitro Fists in Fortnite and how to use them very effectively. Now, this is probably one of the strongest mobility and melee weapons we've ever had in the game, and there's a ton of tips and tricks on how to use them and how to defend against them. So let's get into it. All right, so we are here with my friend L. Dexter, and he's going to be helping us demonstrate how to beat fists and how to stop dying to fists. So let's talk about how to survive Nitro Fists if you don't have them, or if you do have them and somebody tries to attack you with them. So the first rule is you basically want to stay further than 15 meters from your enemy. If they got Nitro Fists, they cannot hit you if you are outside of 15 meters. Now, right now, I am 17 meters from Dexter. Check out what happens if I try to hit him with this. Hello. You see that? You can't hit him. So 15 meters is the range of Nitro Fist. Now, another quick tip, in case I forget, is you actually need to aim your reticle to the right of your enemy if you want to hit them. Basically, your character is on the left side of your reticle. So if you actually want to punch the person and hit them out of the air, or if they're standing there, you actually want to aim to the right of them, because your character will actually make contact to the left of your reticle. So see, if I do this, that actually punches him. I almost missed Dexter right here if I put my reticle on him and then jump up and pull the trigger from 15 meters. Oh, look at that. I did miss. I went to the left because your body is on the left side of your camera. So always put your reticle to the right of the enemy, and that will guarantee that you hit them in most cases. Same with dashing. When you're in the green water at Grim Gate, you got skulls on you and you're trying to dash through one of those little windows, aim to the right of the window, because your character is on the left side of your reticle, and your character is what you need to be navigating, not your bullets. You're not shooting bullets here, you're trying to navigate your character. So if I'm trying to get through this window up here, right, I'd aim to the window right here. So if I try to do that again, and I actually aim at the window right here, you see that? I hit the left side. So yeah, aiming to the right of wherever you want to go is important. Okay, now let's get back to how to defend against these fists. Basically, you just want to stay 15 meters from people, because 15 meters is the distance at which Nitro Fists hit. If you're 16 meters, it will not hit. Also, these fists right here, just a normal attack can hit from 8 meters out. Absolutely ridiculous, right? 8 meters out is crazy for a melee attack like that. Should not be a thing, but it is, and they hit heavy. So you want to keep distance. So the number one rule is, if you see or hear someone that has Nitro Fists and they're pushing you, or that you see them coming at you and they're getting close, you get out immediately. Go ahead and push me with Nitro Fist, Dexter. You hear that sound? That means hit the air, get into the air, because that person is surely going to try to smash you, try to melee you, right? So the very first thing you do, and I tell this to everyone that I train in 1v1s, is you gotta get out of there. As soon as you hear that sound, you're out. You're up in the air, or you're just distance, right? Because if you do not do that, what's going to happen, it doesn't matter how hurt they are, you might get them hit for like 100 damage coming in, and then you're gonna whiff a couple shotgun shots, because the animation on these things is really, really hard to deal with. When they're up in your face and they're knocking you around, your camera's shaking, there's all kind of effects, it's very easy to miss a combat shotgun shot. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, maybe you only hit them for 20, 30, and they're hitting you for 55 with every single punch, right? Just like that, you die. So you've got to get distance. It does not matter how hurt they are. I don't care if you hit them for 150 damage, they're probably still going to beat you if they do one of these to you. They smash you and then they just start punching you, right? Look how quick that happens. So as soon as you hear that sound of them going into the air, you need to get out of there. Now, if you do not have fists, the best option is to use shockwaves or use Nitro Splash. So go ahead and try to do that to me on get in the air. Yep. You use the Nitro and then you sprint jump out. And that makes it very hard for them to get to you. It gets that nice 15 meters or so from wherever they can be, or where they can attack you. It allows you to get some nice distance. So Nitro Splashes are really good, also because they're super quick to drink. Look how fast that happens. So sprint jumping is really, really good with Nitro. Gets you a long distance very quickly. And then you just want to try to outrun their charge distance. So you know that everyone has 4 charges on a normal version of Fist. Now this mythic one has 5, but 4 charges on the normal. And you basically kind of want to run them out of charges if you're going to actually fight them, because you don't want to let them have 2 charges. If they have 2 charges, that is real bad news for you. If you hear 3 charges go off, you're looking good. But if you only hear 2 go off, they still have 2 more, and that means they can do this to you. Which is what everyone does, right? It's just what it is. It's what we got right now. And I don't know if they're going to nerf the damage, but right now these things are completely overpowered. And if you let anyone get within 8 meters of you, you can consider yourself dead, right? Because the animation is wacky like that. You see how I just chased him across a nice little 20-meter distance right there? It locks onto people. It's absolutely broken. Now, the next best option when you do not have fists, you don't have nitro, and you don't have shockwaves, and somebody's trying to push onto you, is get a little bit of elevation. Now, we're talking about 5 meters. That's really all it takes to avoid a slam. So go ahead and try to slam me here, Dex. Okay, he's coming down. Boom. See that? I avoid the slam. Now, if you were trying to go up again. Okay, now slam me. Boom, I avoid it. So if you can get elevation of just 5 meters, which, you know, there's a lot of places you can just clamber up onto something. So clambering can save your life. Get up, then they have to come up to you. And then when they come up to you out of the air, you just drop back down. That's how you avoid that splash damage that's just so nasty. That 70 damage followed by, you know, the 180 of combos. That's what you want to avoid. And getting just a little bit higher, just 5 meters higher, is going to save you from that. Now let's dive into the technical breakdown of the Nitro Fist. Nitro Fist, again, can hit from 15 meters away. 16 meters they do not hit, but 15 meters they do, which is crazy. And just a single jump like this allows you to do that dash. So yeah, you have 2 attacks with the Nitro Fist. You have the dash attack, you have an uppercut, and actually I guess you have a third, it's your combo. Whenever you're grounded, and you're just spamming your fire button, you hit with the fist. Now the fist, again, can hit from 8 meters out, which is insane. That should not be a thing, but it is. So it's pretty much like as good as a shotgun, if not better, because it's really, really hard to miss with these fists as well. Once you get onto an enemy, it basically magnetizes onto them. So again, if somebody gets near you, you just got to get away from them. Now, the uppercut move should almost always be used for getting out quickly. If you hear those fists coming in on you, you want to go to the uppercut, because the uppercut is going to get you off the ground no matter what. No matter where you are, it's going to get you straight up into the air. Whereas if you use the dash right here, if you use running around and you're using the dash and you accidentally land on the ground and then you try to get into the air like this, you're not going anywhere. And I'm sure it's happened to you before. It's definitely happened to me. Just use the uppercut to get off the ground, because that way for sure you're off the ground. Whereas sometimes you might do one of these and you're not off the ground, right? You accidentally touch ground and then you try to go up and it just doesn't work. We've all been there, you know, you get stressed and you're like, anxiety kicks in and you just start punching the ground and you die a very frustrating death. So use your uppercut to get into the air initially or to get out. Now, I will say that your uppercut, oddly enough, does not go as high as your fist attack or your heavy attack when you look up into the air. So as you can see, this is 25 meters up, or 21 meters up, which a single uppercut will just get you to the edge of. So 4 tiles high is what the uppercut will get you to, and I can clamber up. But watch what happens if I use my dash attacks. I go upwards with my dash attack, my heavy attack, and I'm on that roof with no problem. I don't have to clamber. So your dash attack actually gets you higher than your uppercut, which is a little odd to me, but yeah. So if you want to go for height, just use your dash attacks over and over again. That's going to get you the further distance vertically rather than using the uppercut. Really quick, if you're enjoying this content, please consider smashing that like button, body slamming the subscribe button, and gently clicking the notification bell to be alerted every time I go live or drop a new video. Thank you so much, my friend. Oh, and if you consider using code Toby1Shinobi in your Fortnite item shop, it helps me and my family more than you'll ever know. Thank you so much. All right, now let's talk damage number with these fists. So the first 2 hits will hit for 55 in your normal combo, and the third of that will hit for 70. So 180 total just from a single combo, which again, I think is busted because you can do that from 8 meters out. It's absolutely insane. You know, every single one of those shots is going to land on that character. That's going to be 180 damage for basically pressing a button 3 times. Now the slam attack or the heavy attack like this does 70 damage, whether you hit your opponent or you get within like 5 meters of them. So if I'm aiming for a little bit to Dexter's right, you know, a few meters away, and I slam the ground, I'm still gonna hit him. It's got a pretty crazy radius, and I wanna say it's probably about 3 to 5 meters for the slam, and it's really not hard to land that slam once you get in the air, and you can land that from 15 meters out. So 70 on the initial slam, and then followed by 180 with the 3-piece combo is going to kill anyone in zero builds when they have 250 health. So the uppercut move hits for 60 damage, which is a little odd because it's a little harder to pull off. You actually have to be aiming at your enemy for this one. Now, I'm 5 meters out, and the uppercut will hit from 5 meters, but if you're not aiming your character correctly, you will not hit them. Now, what I mean by aiming your character correctly is looking to the right of your enemy, because again, your body is actually on the left side of your screen of your camera, and this is when it matters again, because you'll actually make a connection at 5 meters out if you're aiming to the right of your enemy. But if you're looking straight at them from 5 meters out, you actually won't hit them because you're going too far to the left. So the best way to use the uppercut attack is to actually combo it with the slam. So I like to start pretty much all my fist attacks if I can. If I'm just starting on normal ground and I run into an opponent, say coming around a corner, I like to break their camera and discombobulate them by uppercutting for 60 damage, followed by a slam, followed by a few punches. Now, 2 punches will kill someone in builds because the first uppercut is 60, followed by a ground slam for 70 is 130, followed by 110 damage for 2 punches, 55 each, so that's 240 HP. Now in zero builds, if they're hurt at all for more than 10 HP, that's gonna kill them, and then the third punch, if you need to, will actually finish them off for another 70 damage. But this method of attacking people is a little safer than if you're just spamming fists right towards somebody, because they get a while to actually line up their camera. Go ahead and start shooting me. Right, if I'm doing that, he could kill me pretty easily. Now, he held his trigger right there, but you get the point. I find it a lot more effective to go for the uppercut, followed by the ground pound, or just start with a ground pound to just throw them off, and then deal your extra damage afterwards. All right, so now another crazy thing about Nitro Fists is they do 500 structure damage. So you can see this wall right here has 450 health, and you just go right through it. If there's nothing on the other side of the wall, you're gonna go straight through the wall. So if you're in builds, it'll just go right through the wall. So if we get rid of this bookshelf, and we aim to the right, again, because our character's on the left, we aim right here, we go straight through here because there's nothing on the other side of the wall. So 500 structure damage, which again is pretty crazy, probably way too strong, but that's just what it is. This truck has 600 HP, and if we do a attack on that, you know, we hit it hard, but it still has a remaining 83. Pretty crazy. It'll break pretty much almost every wall, except for some really, really strong metal walls and structures. So because you can break right through walls, if you know an opponent is on the other side of the wall because you see their footsteps, go ahead and show me your footsteps, Dex. Okay, so I know somebody's on the other side of the wall. We go ahead and jump up a little bit. Boom, we're in, and they just never expected that, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. These gloves are overpowered. It is really actually wild because if you're inside of a structure, you're still not safe. So this is what it looks like when somebody does it to you, and it's quite surprising. Oh my God, you know, they're just in on you and you just don't have enough time to react. So yeah. Now, the recent nerf that they actually made to the fists is that they made every single charge take 11 seconds. So if you take a heavy charge like that, you now have to wait 11 seconds before that charge comes back. So it's a total of 44 seconds for the purple version of the fists and 55 seconds for the mythic version of the fist to fully recharge after fully being used. The two different versions of the fist, both the epic and the mythic, are both very good, but the mythic is much better. Having that one extra charge allows you to catch enemies who are running away. So use 4 dashes to get away from me, Dex. Go ahead. So he has the epic, right? And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have a 5th charge to get in on him. Whereas if he only has 4, he's in big trouble because, again, we go back to that rule. As soon as somebody's in the air with a Nitro Fist, you want to be as far away from them as possible. And if your enemy has 1 extra charge than you, that's a big problem. All right, so let's talk about some combat tactics with the Nitro Fist. I would say the most important thing is you don't want to be on the ground when your enemy's in the air with Nitro Fist. So basically, you want to mirror their movement. If they use 2 dashes, you want to use 2 dashes. You do not want to touch the ground first. And that means you can actually kind of wait it out in the air and wait for your enemy to get lower than you, and then use a dash. So go ahead, Dex, start using some dashes into the air. You're gonna attack me. Okay, I match him, I get in the air, I match him again. Okay, I'm up again, I'm still above him, and now he's in trouble. Boom, now we go for the slam. Because if you do the opposite, right, if you leave the ground first like this, and then he matches me, right, I can't get him. Now I'm out of charges as well, and now he's got the slam on me. So basically, you want to be above your opponent at all times, or at least in the air, so you can't get ground pounded by your enemy. So that's pretty much the #1 rule. If somebody jumps on you with fists, get into the air immediately and then try to outweight them. Try to stay in the air longer. So you can actually kind of hold yourself in the air by just kind of uppercutting, and then as you come down, uppercut again, and they won't be able to slam you if you're doing this. And you kind of just want to wait out their slam, and then you attack them once they've slammed first, or they've touched the ground. Now going back to charges of Nitro Fist, right? You got 4 charges in an epic version. Right now we're using the mythics. But you should know that if your enemy pushes you with Nitro Fist, they are using charges to get in on you. And that can actually be really, really, really advantageous, because if they push you, that means they have at least 1 less charge than you, and you'll be able to outplay them. So go ahead and chase me here, Dex. So, right, we get in a little Nitro Fist fight. And I know that Dex is actually pushing me using charges, right? And he's almost out of charges. Now he's out of charges and I'm not. Right? You didn't have a charge left? Right. So because he used the first charge to get in on me, and then I continued to run, he was not able to get in on me and slam me with that 70 damage. So if you use, if you have the epic version and you use 3 charges and then save your 4th to slam them, that can be a really, really beneficial thing in the fight. Or just outrun them to a safe spot where you get them in a bad spot and they can't get out of it because they have no mobility left. And here's what that looks like, right? If I'm already 15 meters past Dexter and he wants to push me, go ahead and push me and just chase me. Okay. And we just want to try to get across the entire map. And he's chasing me, Okay, look where I just put him. He's down here. What does he got? He's got no charges. Oh, he just got 1 back, but he didn't have enough to get up to me, right? So that is a big thing. If the opponent is chasing you, they probably have less charges than you. Try to get them, try to drag them somewhere where they're not going to be able to reach you, and then they're in big trouble because they pushed you and they have less charges. All right, now let's talk about some real combat with Nitro Fist. A lot of your fights are going to be aerial, right? This is what you really, really want to learn. You want to learn to uppercut and then follow up with shotgun shots, preferably a combat shotgun. This is how you really, really take opponents by surprise and land some nice headshot damage while taking pretty much no risk yourself. You want to get fairly good at shooting opponents while you're in the air, so you hit a little of this, and then you just start peppering them, and by the time you land, you should have about 100 damage on your enemy. Now, the other thing that you want to do with fists when you're in a fight is you want to break your opponent's camera. So going up above them and preferably slightly over them is really, really ideal. So let's just say we're having a fight here. Go ahead and start shooting me, Dex, and try to kill me. Here we go. You get your fists out, you go over their head, and now it can be really hard for them to find you. Well, Dex probably had that, actually. It's also not a good thing, actually. This is a great point. Do not pull out your fists mid-fight because they take a good amount of time. If you're just out in the open and somebody's shooting you, it's often your death if you pull out fists. A lot of times you kind of want to just fight back. Let's go ahead, start fighting me. Right? I try to pull out fists and I'm already just too hurt. I might be able to get away, yes, but against a good player like Dex here, it's probably my death. So a lot of times it's better to either one, just have your fists out from the get-go and use those as kind of like your opening attack, and then don't use them in the middle of a fight. Or number 2, just hold your ground and try to hit better shots than your enemy, try to move better than your enemy, try to break their camera as best you can. But pulling out the fist mid-fight and trying to get out is often a death sentence because it just takes a little too long to pull them out. All right, so ideally with these fights, if you have the fists out and you want to start an opening attack, generally you want to go in the air and try to break their camera. When I say break their camera, I mean get off their screen so they have to find you again. Now, if they get above you, go ahead and get above me, Dex. Go ahead and uppercut above me. If he gets above me, right, I have to find him. And I can't see him, and he lands or he's in the air, and now I have to find him again. And by that time, he should already have a free couple shots on me. So when you're in these fights, you want to get above them, break their camera, make them find you, and then you have the advantage. Now, preferably when you get out here, you want to be using something other than a combat shotgun because, you know, it's a little bit too far to be shooting with a combat out here unless you hit perfect shots for 50. But if you miss it all, it's going to kind of do like nothing. You know, you can do 16 shots out here. Use an SMG or an AR once you get to that range, once you break their camera, because then you really put yourself at an advantage. If they're up in the, if they're looking at the air with their shotgun out and then they find out that you're way out there, it's even worse for them, right? Don't give them a chance to hit you with big, heavy shotgun damage. Try to break their camera and get a little bit further than they'd expect you to be, right? So you get out here and then you pull out the AR or even a boom bolt and they have their shotgun out and it's just a little hard for them. And I can't hit a shot. But you get the idea. All right, so go ahead and do it to me, Dex. All right, we're fighting, and boom, I start shooting him. He breaks my camera, and look at the damage he just got on me. Now, I got him really good to start that, but look at the free damage he had. He had like only one more shot to kill me right there, and that's what it can do for you. So ideally, when you break their camera, you want to start behind cover so they can't hit you as you go up into the air, because that's when you really can like actually lose the fight. But when you start behind cover like this, right, and you break their camera, especially if they don't know that you have the fists, it can be really hard for them to find you and get those first free shots. Those first couple shots for free, basically, because they have to locate you first. And you kind of know where they are exactly already. And it's a real problem. These fists are a real problem. You can be in a fight, and you've probably experienced this, where you're fighting somebody, and then they use a couple fist charges, and they just disappear. They're just gone. You have no idea where they went, because when they get in the air, there's no visual audio, and it's really hard to hear it sometimes. So look, go ahead and start fighting me. Right there, boom. I just get free damage right here, and I can win that fight just purely because I'm being an annoying menace in the air, and it's really hard to track my location. So that's also another tip. If you're really hurt in the fight, right, and you can afford to use some dashes, you got a lot of dashes left, a lot of charges, you can do that sort of thing where you break their camera repeatedly, and they just kind of lose you altogether, and then you get some range on them, pull out the AR, and then fire them, spray them down, that sort of thing. So this is what it looks like when Dex does it against me, right? I'm tracking him. I look for him here. Okay. He's gone. Now I lost him. I don't know where he went. There he is. Okay. And now he'd have his AR out, and I'd have my shotgun out, and I'd be dead already. All right, so I mentioned the uppercut combo earlier. Now, the uppercut combo is really not good to use when you're like out in an open field or anything like this. It can be really good if you catch someone off guard. Say you have their back, their side, or you're in a small room with them or something like that. Then it's really, really good to uppercut them first, then ground pound them. So it looks like this, you know, you catch their side, you uppercut them, boom, and they have no idea where you're coming from. And by then you're in on them and they don't really know what's going on. But if you try to uppercut them as you're coming in a straight line at them, it can be a death sentence, because what's going to happen is they're looking at you, right? They get within range, you uppercut, and now they have a little bit of space, and now they know where you are and what's going on, right? So you can kind of give them an advantage if you throw them away from you instead of just punching them with your fists. So I really can only recommend the uppercut move when you're in kind of close proximity and you have them off guard, or you're in a small room and you have them off guard and you're just trying not to get hit, right? Because if you start doing it right here, it can actually be bad for you, because it can give your enemy the space they need to kill you like that. See, that's bad for me. And again, I can still win it because the combo of the fist attack is overpowered. So if you're Dexter right there and that happens to you, you instantly pull out the fists and you get out of there. Go ahead and do it to me, Dex. So he uppercuts me, right? I get my fists out and I go, because I know what's coming next. It always happens, right? Always happens. They go for that triple combo effect. And now guess what? I got one more charge than him. We play distance. We miss our shots repeatedly. And we die. But if I had an AR and some decent aim, he'd be dead. All right, that's the point. So always try to outmove your enemy. Do not try to stand your ground and fight fists when they're going to ground slam you. Just don't do it. I've made the mistake enough now that I know every single time you hear those fists pull out in the air, you need to leave immediately. It doesn't matter how hurt they are. Do not try to do this and land some nice shots on them, because it's just not going to work out for you. In 90% of scenarios, they're going to ground slam you, you're going to miss a single shot, and it's going to be all kinds of bad, right? All right, guys, that's pretty much all the tips and tricks I got for you. But if you enjoyed this type of content, if you like these in-depth breakdowns for weapons, strategies, and everything Zero Build, go check out my YouTube channel and watch my must-watch playlist for Fortnite Zero Build. I promise you will not regret it. And if you want to take your training even further, consider clicking that join button or the link in the video description to join the Shinobi Clan, get access to my private Discord that is a 16+ non-toxic community, and I guarantee it's the best gaming community you'll ever be a part of. And if you join at the master level, you also get access to training with myself and other master members 3 days a week. And last but not least, if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and please do it now and use code Toby1Shinobi in your Fortnite item shop. Thank you so much, friends. Have yourself a great day. Shinobi out.